wgnsradio.com.
My wife and I enjoy going by Yard Sale Inc. We usually go to both locations, the one in Smyrna as well as the one in Murfreesboro. A lot of times on Saturday mornings we stop by, and their inventory changes weekly, so you never know what you're going to see, and it's mostly open box. The name fits it. It's exactly that. It's a yard sale. If you don't totally agree with the price, the staff is always friendly and nice and willing to work with you.
That's the Yard Sale store in Smyrna at 111 Enon Springs Road West, in Murfreesboro at 204 South Front Street, and online at bestdealintown.com.
Hi, this is Allie Dowenhauer with Isaiah 117 House. Isaiah 117 House provides physical and emotional support for children awaiting foster care placement here in Rutherford County. We are changing the way foster care begins, and those kiddos are brought to our house to hang out and wait for a foster family, and they're given everything they need. We support foster children, DCS, and foster families here in Rutherford County. Visit us at www.isaiah117house.com or visit our Facebook page, Isaiah 117 House, Rutherford County.
AFFI is Middle Tennessee's premier choice for pest, wildlife, and moisture control. They specialize in those difficult and unique cases. You can reach them by phone at 615-300-2395. That's 615-300-2395. Or stop in at 200 Glenrose Lane in Smyrna.
Hi there, my name is Rusty Russ. I, along with my sons, Luke and Reed Russ, sell real estate for Stevens Group in the Middle Tennessee area. We are a team of professionals who have the knowledge of local and regional market, which allows us to offer you a full range of commercial, industrial, residential, and investment real estate services, matching our resources with your needs. You can call us at 615-366-8900 or at my cell 615-406-5553 or email jrustyrust@comcast.net.
When I say VFW, you probably have some visions of a smoke-filled bar with a bunch of old-timers eyeballing you. Well, the Stones River VFW is doing things different. No smoke-filled rooms, no turning prospective members away, and a strong emphasis on camaraderie and community. We believe in instilling our American values in our young people through numerous programs such as Voice of Democracy, Patriots Pen, Scout of the Year, and VFW Teacher of the Year. Stones River Post intends on becoming a driving force to help, aid, and assist wartime veterans. So if you're one of those veterans with a campaign medal and you want that sense of purpose that you've been missing, then give our recruiter Andrew Farr a call at 615-490-5715.
Hey, I'm Floyd, and I'm inviting you to join me at CR. That's Celebrate Recovery. We meet at Family Worship Center, 3045 Memorial Boulevard on Sunday at 6 p.m. We're a 12-step Christ-centered program that offers help for all the hurts, habits, and hang-ups that's causing you pain. The program works if you work it, and I'm proof. For other CR groups, go to CelebrateRecovery.com and click on the group finder. Hope to see you soon.
Josh Moss with Affordable Heating and Cooling provides residential HVAC and duct cleaning services to the Middle Tennessee area. With more than 20 years of experience, Josh Moss and the AHC team provide 24/7 service and take care to ensure whatever work you need done is done in a professional, timely manner. Contact AHC at 615-745-1676. That's 615-745-1676. Or go to their website at affordableheatingandcoolingtn.com.
Most people know that their insurance can provide them with coverage for the many life's mishaps. But I can help you also unlock discounts, save money, and get benefits with Farmers Insurance policy perks. Whether we're discussing home or auto insurance, I am here to help you understand these great perks. Call me, Mark Lewis, at 615-625-7070 for a quote, and you can get a whole lot of something with Farmers policy perks.
We are Farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Not available in every state. Only available at select Farmers branded policies underwritten by Farmers Truck or Fire Insurance Exchanges or affiliate.
Mike and Felicia Sparks, owner of the Vanity Zone Salon, want to invite you to stop in for your next haircut or color. Their stylists Michelle, Tori, Tracy, Brandy, Sarah, and Gail offer the best creative cuts and color for all ages, for men and women. The Vanity Zone is located at 732 Nissan Drive in Smyrna, to the right of the Crystals Restaurant. To look and feel your best, visit the Vanity Zone Salon today. Call 615-355-1721 to book your next appointment.
This is Conversations with Mike Sparks.
Are you concerned with the state of America, your state, your community? Then you're in the right place. State Representative Mike Sparks. He and guests are here to talk about local politics, history, faith, and freedom.
All right.
Conversation, Mike Sparks. I'm your host, Mike Sparks, and here I'm recording our guest, Alan Searcy, author of about 30, 40, 50 books. And the needle keeps moving, brother.
It does.
Welcome back.
Thank you,
were
sir.
here last year.
Yeah, I'm glad to be back.
Yeah. We expect a surprise caller to call in. I hope it goes well. So Connor, be ready for that call. I know the guy's busy right now. I think speaking New York or Madison Square Gardens or something, and the hint is French fries. French fries. You like French fries?
No. Yeah.
I do.
Only McDonald's French
Man,
fries.
everybody loves McDonald's French fries. You know? But, you know, I seen you on Evening Line with WGNS, with WTVF News of the day. And folks want to just Google Alan Searcy, ALLEN,
Yes, sir.
SIRCY.
Correct.
They'll find you. Pretty extraordinary stuff. So what got you involved in writing books about the paranormal?
Oh man, I wrote for websites years ago. It started. I lived in a haunted place in South Nashville behind Traveler's Rest.
You said it was haunted?
Yes, sir.
How'd you know that?
Because the trash can moved 8 feet in the middle of the night.
Oh, okay.
I would leave for work. I come home that afternoon, and the TV's be on in the house. All 3 TVs would be on. I'd go to sleep at night, turn the light off in the den. In the morning, it would be on. Weird things happen. But the Traveler's Rest, the historic mansion, they don't talk about that stuff. But what really kind of kicked it into high gear, my wife took me to Savannah, Georgia, back in 2012, whatever.
Savannah.
And I went kicking and screaming. I want to go to the beach. I didn't care about all this history stuff.
Yeah.
So I went down there, and we did a ghost tour, and I just fell in love with like the correlation, the history and hauntings. I just thought it was so neat how you put 2 and 2 together, the history, and tell you why it's haunted.
Yeah.
So we were down there. We went back a few months later, and my wife, we did a second tour. And while we're down there, we went like 4 places, like $50. We were overcharged. It's kind of a ripoff.
Oh, okay.
So my wife's kind of irritated. She said, someone should make an app for $2. Has all the haunted places on it. So
Yeah.
I said, well, okay, that's a good idea. She's like, well, you should do it. I'm like, I don't know how to code an app. She's like, well, just figure it out.
Yeah.
So I bought a Mac, and I spent an entire summer learning how to code apps. And I made one for Savannah, yeah.
Who taught you coding back then?
I watched YouTube videos.
Really?
Some kid in India.
For real?
Yeah, I was watching YouTube videos, and I just figured it out. So I had the template, made one for Savannah, made one for Nashville, which encompassed like Murfreesboro, Gallatin, Smyrna, just a few places I had. And then I went to Boston, Salem, St. Augustine. I had like 7 or 8 of them all together. Well, a few years later, 2019, I'm expecting a little boy in 2 weeks. My wife comes home from work, and the company downsized, and she lost her job. So I just prayed about it. What do I do?
Yeah.
Next morning, I'm driving to work, and I hear a podcast say, well, you never told to go to college. I'm like, I'm in my 40s. I can't go to college.
Yeah.
But I have education, all the history and hauntings museum. I'll write a book. So I wrote Ghost of Gallatin. I did Murfreesboro, then Franklin. I just kept going, and it's just... Now it's my full-time job, and 5 years later, I left my job several months ago. I'm homeschooling my little boy full-time.
Good
So
for you.
the Lord works in
And
mysterious
how old is
ways.
your son?
He's 5.
5. And you're homeschooling? You're the teacher?
I quit my job, and these books, I'm paying for my little boy's education
Great.
because I'm his teacher now.
All right. Man, that's awesome. A lot of folks are choosing homeschooling.
Oh, yeah,
know?
you have to. You want some kid with blue hair telling your kid.
Well, we had Roger, the whole month of October, we've been I've probably been doing the past, I've covered Sam Davis Home for probably 20 years. Brian Barrett and I would with Rutherford Issues, and do a remote. That's how I met Roger Thomas here with Sam Davis Home, and I had him share his story. I know we've shared it a few times, but I've never seen anything in my life. I've never seen anything. I've heard some things, but I've physically never heard anything. I never heard a voice. Tell us, the listeners, what happened with you. Because maybe this could fit in a book that Alan's going to work on for Sam Davis Home.
I've already got a book about Sam Davis Home.
Oh, you do?
I got a book called Tennessee Tales, which is just stories from small towns all over the state, Smyrna, Portland, Spring Hill, and I got a chapter about Sam Davis Home.
The chapters within that Southern Tales?
Yes, sir. Tennessee Tales.
Cool.
Well, you know, Mike, I'm going to be on Tuesday morning. I don't know if we're allowed to tell the show. I'm going to be telling some ghost stories, but I did a little research. The curator gave me a big stack of testimony of people through all the years, things that happened to them.
Oh, they've wrote it down.
That's already happened. People you would know. I see names you know in there.
Yeah.
And
but you heard a voice.
Surprise.
You heard a voice.
Oh yeah, I've heard it twice. What did
it say?
Lady.
It was a woman.
He set me up. How to do it, Mike?
Just Roger.
Yeah,
Roger.
That's it.
And then a guy said your voice.
A guy said my name also, and I'll say that one. Yeah, he said Roger. And I said, oh hey man, I'll be right with you. And I went in there, and
he was there.
This was in the museum though.
Okay, I think we've got our surprise guest caller. How you doing?
Well, we're doing very well. I can tell you that.
Yes.
We're very happy about. What we're looking at. You know, getting ready to speak. At
Yes.
Madison Square Garden. Have you heard of it? Madison Square Garden.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, President Trump. I've never been there though. Yes.
I have to tell you this too. You can't spell Madison Square Garden without MAGA. You know that?
Yes.
It's a
Amen.
tremendous place. It really is.
Yes.
It's a tremendous place. They call it the world's most famous arena. You know that? And it's the world's most famous man at the world's most famous arena. And we're going to do very well there. We're going to do very well in Tennessee. We're going to do very well in New York. That much I can tell you.
Yes, I feel it. I feel it down here. Let me ask you, I was really impressed when you got your job at McDonald's making the French fries. Did you enjoy that?
Well, we did very well. You know, nobody has ever made French fries like I have. They call them golden potatoes, and I built the golden arches, by the way, with my own two hands. You know that? With my own two hands. I molded them, and I sculpted them, and I carved them, and I even grew them. When you think about it, I grew them. I knew the people of Idaho very well. We love Idaho.
Yes.
These are great people, and we did very well. I also knew a person by the name of Mr. Potato Head. I said, we're never going to make you into French fries. We're not going to do that. But we did very well, and we fixed the ice cream machine.
Finally.
That was possible. On day one,
Yes.
we fixed the ice cream machine.
Yes.
And for that reason, you know, Crooked Joe is endorsing me because he loves his ice cream. So he's endorsing me because we did that. It's tremendous.
That's good. That's good. So how you feel? You pumped up?
Well, nobody's more pumped than I am. You know, my name rhymes with it. They call it the Trump pump. It's incredible.
Wow.
We're doing a great job.
Yes.
And we're looking forward to Election Day. A lot of people in your state, you know, Tennessee, have voted early, super early. Great people.
Yes.
And we want everybody who has the opportunity to do that to bank your vote. You don't know what's going to happen, but we know we're going to win, and we're going to win bigly. We're going to beat this woman. We call her the cackling hyena. You know that?
Yes.
She's a communist.
Yes, sir.
We're going to beat her. We're going to beat her like a drum. We're going to do it.
Yes, sir.
We're going to win so nicely.
Yes, sir. Well, is George Soros working against you like he is me?
Well, we don't like George. A lot of people call him Uncle George. We don't like him. He's like the drunk uncle. We don't like that guy. He's a bad guy. He's a sick guy.
He is
He's
sick.
working against you, which means, you know that? I'm telling you what. If he's working against you, you're doing something right. I can tell you
Thank
that
you.
because
Thank you, sir.
you look at a guy like Alvin Bragg, okay? This is a guy who took money from Uncle George. And Alvin Bragg is one of the biggest losers I've ever seen. And I say biggest because you look at him, it looks like he hasn't spent a day outside of a box of Twinkies. You look at this guy, and he's doing a horrible job. He gives Chris Christie a run for his money, I can tell you that. And he's really not nice to me. He's not a good guy. He got this conviction and all that. They call me the outlaw now. So if Uncle George is working against you, you're going to do very well, and you're doing something right. I can tell you that much.
Yes, I appreciate it. Are you going to ever visit Tennessee anytime soon?
Well, we love Tennessee, and you're doing so well, we don't even have to come there, you know, but maybe we'll come soon. There's some nice people there, great people.
Yes.
There is a wonderful group called Latinos for Tennessee.
Oh, yeah.
We love these people. You know, I can tell you what, I know Spanish very well. I say this all the time. And we heard what happened at the Vatican with Crooked Joe, remember? He went to the Vatican, and there's a lot of rumors that are going around. We say this, Sleepy Jose Caca and Frente del Papa, which means Sleepy Joe pooped in front of the Pope. And it's an unconfirmed rumor. They called it Operation Tootsie Roll or Trick or Treat. You're not supposed to do that. It was the only time the Pope uttered the phrase, holy, you know what's coming next, sugar, honey, iced tea. Not allowed to say that on the radio. So we were very nice about it.
Yes.
But it was bad. It was very bad.
Yeah.
You're doing a tremendous job, and Tennessee is doing so well we don't have to campaign there because you have smart people in your state, not stupid people.
Yes, Joshua Rosales is working hard, and Tommy Vallejos and Genevieve up there with them, and Raul Lopez, if you know Raul. I think I seen Raul or Tommy have a picture with you last week or two.
Well, they're great people. These are great people. And I've known them all for a long time. They're doing a tremendous job. And we're doing very well with the Latino votes. You know, it turns out they don't like being called Latinx. That's not a nice thing to call them. And you remember Crooked Joe and his wife. Remember his wife, Jill,
Yep.
Dr. Jill. They call her a doctor. She's a fake doctor. I call her, you know what I call her? You look at the dress. And she wears a dress. It looks like a severe thunderstorm warning on the dress. And I call her Doppler, like the radar. Doppler Jill, not Dr. Jill. But she called the Spanish voters breakfast tacos. You're not supposed to do that.
No.
I would never do that. But she said they're like breakfast tacos. I said, why would you say that? Terrible thing to say. We love these people. These are great people. We love them. They're tremendous. They're smart and highly respected and very talented people.
Yes, yes. Now, going back on the McDonald's job that you always wanted to work at, is it true that Kamala never worked at McDonald's, yet she said she did?
She never worked there, and the reason she never worked there, she went in for an interview, okay? And they said, well, we have to do the interview now. She said, well, I need a teleprompter, and they wouldn't let her do that. They would not let her do the interview with a teleprompter. And it never worked out. She wanted to do it, but it never worked out because you're not allowed to have a teleprompter for the interview. She wanted to bring one in. Can you believe that?
Yeah, I believe
She
it.
wanted to do that.
Yes.
She couldn't do it. And so
Yes.
she never got the job.
Wow.
She's not qualified to run a McDonald's. And if she's not qualified to run a McDonald's, she's not qualified to run our country.
Amen. I agree with you. Well, I know you've got to get back to your speech at Madison Square Garden. Is that where it's at?
It's the world's most famous arena. We love it. It's a tremendous place. And we're going to rock it. We're going to blow the roof off of
All
that
right.
place. It's going to be incredible. You know, we're going to blow the roof off of it. Think about it. We are going to blow the roof off of it like Stacey Abrams in her bathroom after Taco Bell. You know what I'm talking about, okay? The roof is going to get blown off like nobody's ever seen. You know what I'm talking about. Taco Bell doesn't sit well with anybody. That's why I worked. That's why I did McDonald's, you know. And when they got the E. coli, they tried to, you saw what happened. They tried to take me out with the E. coli. But my immune system is so great, and we fought it off like nobody's ever seen. It was bad onions. We fought it off like nobody. That might be a third assassination attempt. Who knows? But we're going to rock Madison Square Garden. You know what I'm talking about.
Yes. Well, we've been praying for you after your second assassination attempt. How many assassination attempts have you had on your life?
Well, there have been so many, you know, that we had Butler, Pennsylvania. And I don't know if this was an assassination or not, but somebody put, you know, I stepped on a Lego this morning. It hurts like hell when you do that. I don't know who put it there, but somebody did, and they're fired. We're going to find out who it was. They're going to get fired.
It's that DEI stuff. That's what that is.
We don't like DEI.
No.
DEI stands for didn't earn it. That's what it stands for. Didn't earn it.
Yes. Well, we know you got to get back to your speech, and we sure appreciate you taking time out of your super busy schedule to call into WGNS and our show tonight, sir.
Well, thank you. You're tremendous people. You're talented people. And you make my job very easy. You know, that Tennessee is one of the greatest states. I heard what happened. You have a fantastic Attorney General, Mr. Scametti. I've known him for a
Yes.
long time. He's a great guy. And they were going to drop some very bad hombres in your state. You know that?
Oh,
they were
yeah.
going to do that from Louisiana.
Mm.
And I know Louisiana very well. I worked very, very closely with, you may have heard of him, Thomas Jefferson. You know Thomas Jefferson? I called him Tommy.
Okay.
And I said, Tommy, we're going to get a great deal from the French. You know that? $3 million, and we get the Louisiana Purchase.
Yes.
What a fantastic idea.
That was a
But they were
deal.
going to bring very bad hombres into your state. And Jonathan Scametti and some of these people said, absolutely not. It's not going to happen. And they're going somewhere else now. So your state is doing tremendously well. I happen to think it's the greatest state in the country.
Yes. Do you know, let me ask you real quick before you go. Do you know the story of John DeBerry that marched with Dr. King? He was a 26-year lawmaker, Democrat lawmaker out of Memphis, and the Democrat Party took him off the ballot. Main Street Media, Main Street News, or your mainstream news is not going to talk about this, but the governor ended up hiring him. Have you got a chance to meet John DeBerry?
He's a tremendous guy. He works very closely with Governor Lee. We like Governor Lee. He's doing a great job. And I will tell you this, what the Democrats did to him was horrible.
Yes.
And we would never allow that to happen. You know, what they did to him was horrible. And we have a home for him in the Republican Party.
Amen.
He's doing a great job. I can tell you that. He's doing a fantastic job. and we love him. He's a great guy, and what they did to him was so sick and so horrible. You know, these are sick people. I talk about it. These are stupid people and sick people, and we have to look at them, and they have to understand that they're very, very bad people. So what they did to John was horrible.
Yes.
But what he's got going for him now is very good. He's doing a great job.
Oh, he is. Yes, he's coming in. Well, thank you, sir, for taking the time out to call us, and I think we're going to be back in touch with you maybe next week is what Joshua Rosales is telling me.
Yes, Josh is a great guy. We love Josh. He's a great guy. And we will talk to you next week. We'll see what happens, but we're going to probably talk to you next week. I think we're going to do it, and everybody's going to have a fantastic time. That's what I can tell you.
All right. Well, thank you so much, sir.
All right, God bless you.
You too. Thank you. Bye. Let's take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back.
Josh Moss with Affordable Heating and Cooling provides residential HVAC and duct cleaning services to the Middle Tennessee area. With more than 20 years of experience, Josh Moss and the AHC team provide 24/7 service and take care to ensure whatever work you need done is done in a professional, timely manner. Contact AHC at 615-745-1676. That's 615-745-1676. Or go to their website at affordableheatingandcoolingtn.com.
Most people know that their insurance can provide them with coverage for the many life's mishaps. But I can help you also unlock discounts, save money, and get benefits with Farmers Insurance policy perks. Whether we're discussing home or auto insurance, I am here to help you understand these great perks. Call me, Mark Lewis, at 615-625-7070 for a quote, and you can get a whole lot of something with Farmers policy perks.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Not available in every state. Only available with select Farmers branded policies underwritten by Farmers Truck or Fire Insurance Exchanges or affiliate.
Mike and Felicia Sparks, owner of the Vanity Zone Salon, want to invite you to stop in for your next haircut or color. Their stylists Michelle, Tori, Tracy, Brandy, Sarah, and Gail offer the best creative cuts and color for all ages, for men and women. The Vanity Zone is located at 732 Nissan Drive in Smyrna, to the right of the Crystals Restaurant. To look and feel your best, visit the Vanity Zone Salon today. Call 615-355-1721 to book your next appointment.
At Dr. Automotive in Smyrna, we're committed to providing local car owners with top-notch auto repair services. With over 2 decades of experience, our ASC certified master technicians are experts in both foreign and domestic vehicles, ensuring accurate diagnosis and timely, cost-effective repairs. From oil changes to major engine and transmission repairs, we've got the cure for your car. Dr. Automotive, keeping your car running smoothly, mile after mile. Visit our website, smyrnaautorepair.com.
All right, we're back. Conversation with Mike Sparks. I was really tickled that he knew about the John DeBerry situation. John DeBerry, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, 6 years ago, was on Donald Trump's advisory team. And what bothered me, if folks don't believe there's false narratives, agenda-setting theory, fake news, there really is. You go back and look at John DeBerry's story. Here's a man who marched with Dr. King. Here's a man who was at the mountaintop speech as a young boy, about 13 years old, heard the speech, could see kind of the dread in Dr. King's mannerisms in his speech, and he got elected. John did 26 years ago or 28 years ago, and the Democrat Party took him off the ballot because he's for life. He's for life. Folks, this is how deep this is getting. And if you want to see more of the interviews I did with John DeBerry, just type in John DeBerry, Mike Sparks on YouTube. Type in the one about Planned Parenthood, where he calls it out. In fact, I worry about John's life. He's at risk of losing his life because these are mean people. These are people that, if you're giddy about babies dying and you're not excited about life, something's wrong mentally. Something is wrong mentally. But go to YouTube, type in John DeBerry, Mike Sparks, and you see the Planned Parenthood. Watch that video. And folks, share it. But here's one of my favorite scriptures in the Bible. I love the story of Joseph. Joseph was sold out by his own brothers. You think we got hard times, and then being sold out by your own brothers, served as a slave. And then God had a plan for his life, and what they meant for evil, God used for good to save the Jewish nation. But look at what happened to John DeBerry. But here's why I like that scripture, because it reminds me of John. They took him off the boat. I talked to John. John was choked up. I could hear it in his voice, and I quoted I like that quote by Dr. King, Alan, where Dr. King he didn't get a parade permit, my understanding, and was it maybe Birmingham, and I love this quote where he says, it's not the words of your enemies that hurt the most. Think about that. Not the words of your enemies hurt the most, but the silence of your friends. Mm-hmm. So I told John, I said, John, you got some friends up in here, brother, I promise you. And I had the governor in, and I talked about the Constitution, talked about what happened with John. In fact, I used profanity when I introduced the governor. Just a D. It was just a D word. Anyways, I don't know if you know what D word is, Al. But I looked over the governor, and we got a good governor. He cares about broken homes. He cares about the fatherless. He cares about people in prison. He cares about addiction. He cares about these issues. And I said, who does this? But somebody gives a DAMN. Looked over at the governor, Al, and guess what the governor was doing? He started crying.
Really?
Yeah, his eyes. I could see his eyes start to water. And then it was about a month, maybe 6 weeks later, the governor hired him. He's the first African American to be on the first level the first floor of the state capitol. Connor, shouldn't that make news? Shouldn't that make news? Jeremy, shouldn't that make news?
Absolutely.
If Terica's listening, or Tiffany is listening, if Scott Broden's listening, if the Tennessee Lookouts listen, shouldn't that make news? It doesn't make news. You know why? It does not fit the narrative, folks. There's a deep state going on. People need to wake up and have some balls about them and get out there and vote and start standing up for their rights and stand up for life as well. But anyways, I'll get off my rant. But give God the glory for what someone meant for evil against John DeBerry. It's just the coolest story. And I'm thinking about putting in a budget request, Alan. This is the first I'm saying this publicly. I'm thinking about asking for a bunch of money in the budget next year to fund a movie about John. I don't know if I'll get it, but I can try. I just think that story needs to be told, because I'm telling you, mainstream media does not want that out there. They do not want that story told. Because if African Americans know what happened to John, they're going to be second guessing. Am I going to be stuck in this party? Am I going to be stuck in this? No, I don't think so. Anyways, I hope that Joshua will have John DeBerry on here pretty soon, maybe next weekend. And I think they've got an event coming up here pretty soon. If Josh is listening, maybe he can text me the details on it. But I'm going back to your book. You've wrote 30?
26 by the guess.
Wow. Who is, if you don't mind, who is your printer?
I self-published through KDP, also through Ingram.
Okay.
It's all in-house. I do everything myself.
In-house. So you Lightning Source?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Have you been in the plant?
No, sir. I know it's over. Was it Lebanon? No, Laverne.
No, it's my district.
Oh, it is? Okay.
It's my area.
Okay.
Yeah.
I knew it was somewhere around here.
I've been out there. I worked at Ingram back when I was
tour.
18, 17. Yeah, we'll set it up.
Yeah.
Trey Hargan was with me a couple of years ago. We've done it twice. And what was cool about that tour, that you could eat off the floors at Lightning Source. They had a roll of paper, and I happened to ask the guy, I said, how long is that paper? Guess how long it was?
Oh, I have no idea. Several miles.
20 miles.
3 miles. He said, if you roll down the interstate, it's 3 miles long, a roll of paper.
Yeah.
You know. But so you're able to get by with, do you go, speaking of the group, Rotary and different clubs?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I do events. I sell at the National Farmers Market. I got invited to exhibit downtown at National Farmers Market, and that was kind of like a coup getting an author in there, especially selling folklore and haunted history. I do the flea market in Nashville. I do events and conventions around the country. I was in Lexington last week. I was in St. Louis a while back. I go all over the place just to sell these books and make things it work.
Yes. Have you? So you visited? You've been in house at Sam Davis' home. Walked those.
Oh yeah, when I was a kid, we field trip there every few years.
Got to go on the field trip?
Oh yeah, when I was a kid, I went to Harding and we go up there. Yeah.
Why you didn't get to go, Mike?
I've told the whole world. No, I was the only kid in my 4th grade. Don't start crying. I was the only kid in my 4th grade. I didn't have the money, man. I didn't have the five. How much was it when you went?
Well, I went to Harding, so I'm not sure. I think that was kind of factored into tuition as a private school.
Oh, yeah, you one of those, huh? Okay.
My grandsons went there.
Okay.
I was at David Jury, and the teacher let me sit in that classroom all day long, man. That always bothered me for years. But here's where God had a plan. I know people are like, Mike, you told that story 20 times. But a teacher took me to my same classroom. Emily Mitchell, little teacher, she invited me to my old school and took me to my same room. And I sat there and watched the teacher, and I thought, she didn't know nothing about the story. The next morning, I was a guest speaker at State Capitol for the 150th anniversary of Sam Davis' home. You know what I mean? Is that not weird?
It all comes back around.
How do you, but what's the probability of that?
Yeah, that's wild.
You know, but back then, that was a big deal for us as kids. Sam Davis' home was a big deal because there really wasn't much to do, you know.
Centennial Park was the alternative. That was usually your other field trip when I was in school.
Oh, you got to go to the field trips?
I think 2 my whole lifetime. Yeah, we walked. Oh, Jefferson. Yeah, old Jefferson
Oh,
school.
yeah, you went to old Jefferson.
Yeah, we walked to that one.
Yeah. But no, I think those tough times, it makes you appreciate life, you know, makes you appreciate hardship. And because nothing's going to motivate you like pain.
Yeah, and like I told you, my wife losing her job and having to figure out a way for my family, just start writing and just you keep going. And there's no off days. I saw a quote on Twitter or Facebook. So was it success is rented, it's never owned, and the rent's due every single day.
Yes.
So I mean, I was working on the book this morning. I'm working on screenplays now. Just always trying to figure out.
Oh, now going back, how's your college coming along? Did you finish up?
Oh no, I
thought you went back to school.
No, I went to Ball State and I started working. No, I never. I mean, I'm kind of self-educated. I'm just old newspapers, archives, go to historic sites. I do own research and just dig in. And
have you thought about going back though to Ball State or MTSU?
No, I mean, I told you I kind of just got my own education, just learning how to build apps and like just reading all this research for history, and I became a historian. Someone called me a haunt historian up in Gallatin one day, and I just stole that. I said, well, I'm the haunt historian now. So
was it haunt historian?
Haunt historian, yeah.
Oh, haunt historian. Oh, that's cool.
So I stole that. It's my gimmick now.
I like that. You know, I've been going back to school, man, for many years, and I mean, I love it. I love it. I mean, but here's what I've learned: it's not just the curriculum you learn. You're learning off the students. Mm-hmm. You're learning off the instructor. My professor, Caress. I'm in the history recording industry, history of music, I guess you say. And I invited him to come up here on the station, talk about music therapy and the influence of music. And music really pulled African Americans and whites together, Latinos together. It really has a strong impact, positive impact on our society and culture. And so my professor, he said, I can't make it. I got to be at church. And he's an author. I mean, I wouldn't have thought this rock and roll dude was at church on Sunday nights.
Yeah.
So Professor Caress, if he's listening, just a great guy, and but it's really fascinating, man.
Well, it's funny. Like I go to these conventions. I go to horror conventions and true crime conventions. I sit at all these places, and like I'm the only guy that comes in late on Sunday because I'm at church.
Well, I was fixing to say you're probably a loner.
I am
a rebel.
But everybody's really friendly. They don't judge, you know. And I try to use my platform to talk to people, tell them my story, and hopefully plant a seed, and then one day it pays off.
Does anybody get mad at you if you talk about Jesus or something?
I mean, everybody's pretty friendly and open. I mean, I kind of know when to, lean in and when to kind of hold back, and just try to do my best to kind of spread the word and share my story and hopefully inspire somebody else.
Yes. How old a fella are you?
48.
48. The Roger just reminded me. We had Roger and I have a lot of philosophical conversations, but I want to give a shout out. We had one of our Rotarians passed away, Carolyn Peebles, at our Rotary Club, and sadly she passed. I believe it was Thursday night, and she was our Rotarian, Jerome Dempsey's campaign treasurer, and I know Jerome's. A lot of folks are just feeling the pain and really sad over the loss of Carolyn. She was an author. She wrote, I think, one or two books, and just a machine, man. She was very organized. In fact, she was on the committee with you, wasn't she?
Yeah,
historical.
She was the chair of the Historical Zoning Commission in Smyrna. I'm on that, and she's actually our chair, and loved her to death. Easy, and a little bit flexible. You got to be just a little bit on that job down there.
Yeah,
but a little bit. And but yeah, I enjoyed her, and in fact, I seen confirmation from her actually. I think Wednesday or Thursday, where she was going to be at the meeting Monday. The next thing I hear, you told me,
man, because in fact, I was offering I know it's kind of a strange comment, but I was telling young Ricardo, happy birthday, Ricardo. He had a birthday yesterday, was it? Turned 22 years old, and I was telling him, I said, you never know about life, and you need to always kind of be ready, and I said, you like my van? He was like, yeah, it's kind of nice. Well, if something happens to me, tell my wife I'm gonna give you this van, But I said, you just never know.
Well, she's listening.
My wife? Yeah. Oh, is she? She never listens to the show. She really never listens.
She sent me stuff to
She says she listens to me enough as it is. I think we've got a caller. Caller, go ahead.
Mike,
caller. Hey, how's it going?
Good. Good. I'm really enjoying this show. It's one of your better shows.
Oh, what are you trying to say? I'm teasing you. Hey, what happened earlier? I thought y'all were going to some big event at Cane Ridge or something.
Well, we did. And I came back. I wanted to hear your show tonight.
Oh, I heard a different story. Something about it was women only or something. Is that true?
Well, maybe.
Okay. You didn't try to fit in?
My woman girly side didn't kick in.
You didn't?
But no, I'm really enjoying the show because, I enjoy the paranormal. I enjoy ghosts.
Have you met Alan yet? Marty, you ever met Alan?
No, sir.
I don't know if I have. That doesn't ring a bell.
This dude's famous. He's wrote like 30 or 40 books now.
Has he?
It'll be 60 time the show's over.
Yeah, that's right.
Marty, tell him about your house.
Oh, it's haunted. But I was going to tell him. I just wanted to ask you, Al.
Yes, sir.
Did you ever get any photos from the Carton Mansion about their ghosts?
The Carton, the Carter House in Ripperville and Spring Hill are owned by the Battlefield of Franklin Trust. I've been told by people who work there that if they speak about ghosts, they'll be fired and lose their jobs. So stuff at the Carton, Carter, and Ripperville, it's kind of, they don't talk about it. But I know I'm friends with people who work there or know people. I'm really close with the guys at the Lotes House, and I hear stuff all the time about Carter and Carton. But yeah, it's kind of taboo. Yeah, the Carton, they say that there's some children there. They say there's a lady, Miss McGavick. The lady, I can't remember her name, but yeah, there's a lady, some children.
Miss McGavick and the grandchildren.
Yeah. So you think it'd be a bunch of soldiers, but yeah, it's a lady and two children.
Yeah, there is a soldier.
Okay.
Can I share my story with you?
Go ahead.
Yes, sir.
Because what you're talking about, how they cannot talk about ghosts, is true. Now, I was out there one night doing a reenactment, and it came up and rained, and it ran the people off, and I was sitting on the front porch, and it was about time to go home, and I was cutting up with a couple of three guys. They had heard all the stories about Carton and everything, and they were kind of uncomfortable. I was enjoying the moment. Well, anyhow, we had some pretty weird occurrences happen. There was a table out on the front porch where the 7 generals were laid out, and that's where we were. We were standing there, and one of the guys put his, I think they call him a Cupid or something like that, hat, some Yankee hat or whatever. But anyhow, he put it on the table. And we watched his hat get picked up and carried to the end of the house and turn the corner. They were freaking out. They were having a real problem with that. So they asked me if I'd go get the hat, and I did. And I turned the corner, and I saw where they were excavating for, I'm not sure what they were excavating for. It was an extension of the kitchen, I believe. But anyhow, I got down on that hole and got down on my knees, and I started hollering at them, help, come get me, come get me. Well, they looked, they come around the corner, and they peeked, and they looked, and then they ran. They just left me in there. So later on, I was getting ready to go home, and I got in front of the window, and I told all the ghosts, I said, if y'all want to get in the picture, you need to come over to the window now. Well, they did. I got the 3 children waving at me. One of them had her arm stuck through the window waving at me. So I got that photo. And then there was a soldier. The soldier was in the photo. I still got the photo out if you ever want to see it. I can bring you over.
You been drinking tonight? You been drinking?
Yeah.
I checked. So you got a picture of this photo you're telling me about?
Yeah. I took the picture, and the kids were in it.
Okay.
And so I was showing it to some friends, and the Tennessean newspaper picked up on it.
Really?
And they wrote a big story. And then CBS News picked up on it, and it went viral on CBS. And then I started hearing stories about me being crazy, and I was drunk that night. They had to run me off and all this other stuff. So they got real issues with people that talk about ghosts over there.
Yeah, some historic sites, and when 2020 happened, a lot of places loosened up, like Crag Font, Castilian Springs, Rock Castle in Hendersonville, Hermitage over in Hermitage. They don't really talk about the stuff. Before 2020, Rosemont and Gallatin, the Lotes House wouldn't talk about it either. But all those historic sites are having issues with, funding and tourism. They had to do something, since a lot of them turned to ghost tours or investigations and open the houses up, do this kind of stuff. So it's changed a lot since, I guess you probably had your incident at Carton, but down there in Franklin, they still won't talk about it, those historic sites.
Yeah, that's pretty weird about that. I don't know why. Seems to me it'd bring in a lot more people.
Well, see, it's
I've
funny,
been
like
out there a couple of-
the Belmont Mansion in Nashville, they're super haunted. And I was talking to a guy who worked there, and he told me, he said, look, we don't really advertise this. There's a couple thousand teenagers sleeping next door. If they hear this place is haunted, they may try to break in one night and try to find the ghost. So it's kind of...
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Hey, Alan, I got a picture of the ghost looking at me in a mirror over at Belmont.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, she lost several children, and they say that one of her girls is there, and they say it's also Adelicia Ackland.
Yeah. Well, I took this photo I had to the National Historical people,
Mm-hmm.
and they said it was a niece of Alicia Ackland. They recognized her.
Okay. Yeah, see, I lived behind Traveler's Rest for years, and my first night in the house, the trash can moved 8 feet in the middle of the night. And strange things happened, so I walked over to the house one day, and I was asking them, hey, is this place haunted? Things are happening in my house right over here. Oh, no, sir. No such thing as ghosts. Here we talk about the Mississippian Indians. We talk about the Overton family. And they told me I was crazy. Well, I was about to leave, and a lady got out of her car, and I said, man, I live right over here. And I pointed to my house, and I said, my house, weird things are happening. Is this place haunted? She goes, honey, there's so many ghost stories here, but I can't tell you about them. So, Harding, Traveler's Rest over Harding Place is kind of the same boat.
Yeah. Hey, Al, can you sense them when you go into a place?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Can you feel them?
No, I'm not sensitive. I'm really just a historian. I like the history and the hauntings, and I know people who are sensitive, and I believe that there's some folks who are tuned into a different wavelength. Like if I'm on channel 2, they're on 2, 3, 4, and 5 and have direct TV, but I'm not really in tune with that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Well, there's some recording studios in Nashville that are haunted pretty bad.
Oh yeah, Ocean Way down there, Tony Alamo's old church. It's now owned by Belmont's recording studio. I met with them when I did my West Nashville book, and there's the story is Tony Alamo, when the feds raided his compound in Arkansas, his wife's body was gone. She was buried there on site. So he dug her up and he put her in a freezer and kept her in the basement of his church there, Ocean Way. And they say there's a blonde-haired lady who walks around at night. So yeah, it's a lot of weird stuff.
He had a church on 4th and Broad in Nashville.
Mm-hmm. He also made those cheesy denim jackets too.
Didn't he get some trouble or something?
Oh, he stayed in trouble. He was he's wanted by the feds. He was a struggling singer. He went to L.A., tried to make it as a singer. He couldn't make it. Started managing people. He started this religion. Got people to live on his compound, do all his work for him. Didn't pay him hardly any money. Moved to Arkansas. Got a beer compound. Came to Tennessee.
What compound?
Like a compound, like for his cult, for his church.
Oh, okay.
He was a cult leader. He came to Nashville and opened this. He had a church here in Nashville, lived over near Creve Hall. He had that denim jacket company, Mr. T. Dolly Parton wore his jackets all around town.
Really?
He was real famous. Well, after his wife died, he married like a 10-year-old girl.
No, he didn't.
Yeah.
You serious?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You Google Tony Alamo, you just go down this rabbit hole. It's nuts the stuff this guy was doing.
Is he still alive?
No, he was sent to prison, and he died a few years ago.
Really? Did you ever know him, Marty?
Not like where we called each other first names, but yeah.
You seen him, met him before?
Some of the similar. I never was a member of his cult.
It's okay.
Well, whose cult were you in?
Really?
I know where you're going with that, Mike.
You beat me to it. No, I was just a kid, and I remember hearing about him.
Mm-hmm.
I just remember being in the news. Marty, the story that who's the young? Is it a adopted? Is it a foster family you took in years ago that shared that story about waking up middle of the night and seeing a man in the house, your house?
Yeah, the soldier.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the foster kids I had.
Because I was kidding him, months ago, and he said that he had said that has you ever seen anything? And I was just messing with him. He says, yeah, I woke up about 2 or 3 in the morning and seen a man. Did he say it had like a green glow to him or something like that?
Yeah, he had a glow. He had a glow. It was a warm glow. It was a friendly aura.
He thought it was a soldier.
Yeah, he described him. It was definitely a soldier, a Civil War soldier.
Yeah. Well, I remember the boy was really serious when he was telling me the story. So I hadn't seen anything. I just kind of believe folks when they tell me they've seen something. Well, Marty, thanks for calling in. Anything else you want to share?
Nope, not really. Bring Alan over here one day if you want to.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to.
We'll do it, brother. All right, thank you so much, man.
Okay, bye-bye.
All right. he had but speaking of hauntings, like I said, I've never seen anything, but I did have something happen about probably 10, 12 years ago. We had this dog that we really like. Petey was his name, and he was Dash Hound, the one that's got like the little beard. You see him in the little cartoon things and the the paintings. But man, that dog, we love that dog, and the dog had passed away. We had this other dog, and Petey had died, and the other dog was about 3 a.m. I remember the dog being really excited. The other dog that we still had, and so the way our former house was, it's like a hallway, and then there's a bathroom that goes out to the kitchen. So you could exit two different ways. And I remember the dog was getting really like excited, I guess you could say, and I thought he needed to go out, and so I got up, put him out. He came back in. He was still acting the same way, so I thought, well, I'm just going to leave you out for good this time, and left the dog out. I promise you, the dog was outside, and I started hearing footsteps of a dog going down our hallway and hardwood floors. You know how the dog had the neck, like, and my wife, she goes, I thought you put the dog out, and the dog was out, and I didn't want to say nothing because I was afraid she would just go all ballistic and freak out about it. I just didn't say a word. I just got up, got the dog, and brought the dog back in, and the dog kept looking. I remember he was looking to the door at the hallway that I heard. I mean, do you think that a former pet could come back like that?
I've heard stories of that. There's a story in my Franklin book. There's a story in Florida where these like a cat or a dog will just like a cat rub against your leg, or they'll see a cat in the window and there's no cat there. The dogs, I don't know how it all works, but I have heard stories.
Well, how do you ever have? Because I'm as a Christian, I know somebody may say, well, that's not biblical, this and that, but have you is it biblical?
Here's the deal, and I told you, I have lots of friends that I've made over the years. I have a friend of mine, she calls herself an empath. She's not a medium, she's not a psychic, she calls herself an empath. She can't see a ghost, but she can sense and feel them. And like I brought her to Murfreesboro, I did my book, and she was in this one basement of this building shouting in the corner at someone where supposedly she saw somebody. But she and I talked about this, and I said, what is a ghost? She said, well, look, here, a spirit or a ghost, it's someone who is raised very religious, and when they die, they're afraid of judgment, so they stay behind. They will not go to the light.
Really?
They stay. I don't know how it all works.
The opposite.
I don't know. That's how she explains it. They're afraid of judgment, and they stay behind.
Really? I've got a younger brother, and he don't listen to the show, but anyways, as a kid, I remember him telling me he's seen a man in the room, and we live behind the old Sam Davis, behind the Beatty home, which Sam Davis they copied to build over on Ross Drive, and it looks, I mean, it's a scary looking house. I mean, and I remember my little brother telling me, and I'll start laughing. Did you ever get people to just start laughing? Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm like, I'm kidding him about hearing Roger, but he just don't like to talk about it because he says that's why I don't talk about it, because you start laughing about it. But he swears he's seen a man in the house when he was a kid.
Yeah, it's funny, like writing these books, some folks think I'm crazy, and some thinks it's funny. Someone's like, I'm Ghostbusters, I'm ready to believe you, they'll come tell me their story. Like, I started writing these books, and a funny thing happens, you write a book about ghost stories. Everybody wants to come tell you their ghost story. So that's how I started writing more. I started collecting notes, like my Opryland book. I worked at Opryland.
So, you saw Opryland.
And, just like, I worked at the theme park, and we see a lady walking around at night.
Theme park, okay. I was curious when I heard you on the TV.
Well, here's the story. Back in the 1300s, it was a Mississippi Indian village, similar to like the story at Traveler's Rest. Oh. Well, in the 1800s, is the McGavick property. So the last of the McGavicks died in the 1970s, Miss Louisa, but she had no children. So she left the land for her church to be used as an orphanage or a hospital. Well, her body's not cold in the grave, and they sold it to WSM for the theme park. So they're building the theme park, and they get it open. They see this lady walking around at night. See her in the gazebo. See her walking around the park. Really? She'll walk up to people and ask them a question and disappear in front of their eyes. I worked at the hotel in 95 for a few months, and I heard them talk like in the break room about an old lady. So-and-so saw the old lady today. Hey, have you seen the old lady? I didn't really know what it was. When you start writing these books, okay, it's the old lady. But it's not just the hotel. It's like now the mall. It's the theater. There's a picture on Facebook went around where a lady in black is walking around the theater. This lady's taking a selfie with her kids. There's a lady in black behind her. Music Valley Drive, all kinds of stuff goes on over there.
When you say a lady, you can see the facial features.
You can't see the facial features, but you can see the outline of a woman in black. It's in like, I think there's a Opryland group on Facebook, and it's weird. A lady and two kids takes a selfie, and then there's a lady behind her.
Really?
Yeah.
And what's it's on Facebook?
It's on
site?
Facebook. There's an Opryland group on Facebook, and you can probably go in there and look for Ghost.
And you worked there for a while?
I worked at the hotel back in '95 for maybe 3, 4, or 5 months.
So you visited as a kid, though, the park?
Oh, yeah, I had season tickets. My birthday's in June. My granny gave me a season pass every year. I spent my summers at Opryland.
Man, don't you think it was a huge mistake they made?
Well, the thing was, the CEO resigned, new guy stepped in. He wanted to make the area like downtown Disney or like a mini Las Vegas. There were rumblings because around that time, in '95, they passed legislation for the lottery, right? Mm-hmm. So there was talk they were going to like put a showboat there, to make a Tunica right there on the Cumberland River where you go riverboat gambling. But that never came to fruition. Oh. So, but and from them it's a business transaction because the park is closed in December, January, February, and from March to November it's bringing in revenue, or early December or through Christmas. Well, the mall is collecting money every single month, so it's a financial decision as well.
Gotcha. Yeah. Well, I know I miss it. We had a lot of great time out there as kids. Did you ever go?
Oh yeah, we would go. Even work when I retired at Bridgestone, they would go there every year, like a company thing, And as a kid, my dad loved that. What's that Wabash Cannonball? Mm-hmm. He would he like a little kid. He'd get back in line, and we'd stand there and let the water splash and stuff. Stuff he couldn't do, I guess. He didn't have nothing growing up.
I like the little bumper cars.
Yeah, well, I don't know if I'm going to get out there. If he drives like he drives, I don't know if I want to.
Tin Lizzie's bumper cars.
I love that one too.
Well, he'd take it off the track.
I love that, man. I wonder whatever happened to those cars.
I think there's somebody did some research on that, like different theme parks from all over the country. There's an auction. They bought different things. Like the Hangman went somewhere in Indiana, and the Tin Lizzies are bought by somewhere in Georgia, or just everybody got a little piece of Opryland.
Well, I had a guy. Years ago, I put up some old Tonka trucks and just like collector's items. One day it's going to be worth some money, and I just took. We were moving, so I sold it. And I remember a guy come by, and he was a former car guy up in Gallatin, I believe, Hendersonville, and he said, "Look what I bought today," and it was one of the airplanes. The little, what's that?
Barnstormer.
The Barnstormer. Yeah. He bought it, and I think something was missing on it. I don't know if it was one of the rear wings or the bottom wing or something, but I thought, man, that is so cool.
Yeah. And you can still, if you look when you first go in, there's part of the Grizzly River. You can kind of see it if you know what you're looking for. It's still there. It's like a big
when
piece of rock.
When you say you go in from...
When you go in from the mall, let's see here.
Around the back, you mean?
Yeah, like when you leave, and I think you really can see it. It's like a big fake rock that's still there from the Grizzly River.
Really?
Yeah, and the thing is, like, the mall is kind of small compared to the parking lot. There's a map there on Facebook you can see where the parking lot was really where the park was. The mall is like a tiny fraction where the park used to be. The parking lot's where all the rides and stuff were.
Oh, the front parking lot or the back?
Well, just like the mall parking lot.
Oh, the whole thing.
Yes.
Okay. I think I was probably I don't know, 20. When did it close?
It opened in 72 and closed in 99.
99? Mm-hmm. Okay. I guess 30.
And the flood hit in 2010. That was a punishment. That was a punishment for closing the mall.
Well, did you ever go to the fairgrounds?
Oh yeah, I went and saw Hulk Hogan wrestle there. My dad took me to see some races and go to the flea market every now and then.
Is your folks still around?
Oh, my dad's still around. Yeah.
Is he? What does he think about you being a haunt historian?
He thinks it's kind of neat. He sent me a picture the other day. He was in the Smyrna Library and he saw a picture of a book.
Smyrna Library.
And he took a picture and shot it over to me.
What's he doing over at Smyrna?
He lives in Antioch, so he just hop and skip.
Oh,
and jump
really?
Away. Yeah.
Well, send him down to me. Send him down to me, and I'll show him the stuff.
Yeah, that's cool. That was the old rock. Did you ever go to the rock? That was a rock school back in the day.
Yeah, I'm that old. Yeah,
you went there. Yeah. I remember. Remember Caught on Fire, and they just shut it. I was the first year to go, and then they built David Jury, so our class didn't go there.
I went there in '66. It was 6th grade. When I went there, when we first moved to Smyrna from Jefferson after the dam come in, everybody started kind of getting out of the area.
Now, in our last few minutes, Old Jefferson. Want to get this gentleman involved. What's the latest on Old Jefferson? I guess we've got the chili cook-off. Maybe we get you brought it up at the day.
Mike's writing a book about Old Jefferson is what I was
told.
Well,
I don't know. If I'm going to do it, I need help.
We do have a guy that has written one. Is in the process. He's 95 years old.
Oh, yeah.
But we're having a chili cook-off in January 4th. It's a all-day event and nighttime. We have different speakers, different ones. We had it last year, and it was great. We had, I bet we had 200 people.
Yeah.
And we have like a certain amount of time. We'd like you to come if you can and speak about your books.
Yeah, I'd love to.
And
Charles Jones, who we're talking about.
Yeah, Charles Jones.
He owned part of Hickory Hollow Mall and sold it.
Owned about 12 Macy's, didn't he, at one time or something like that? And we want to start a museum.
We're going to hit him up. We're going to hit him up for some money.
I got you talking.
I don't know if he's listening.
I just said about the museum.
He's passionate about Old Jefferson. The federal government took their land.
Oh yeah,
and displaced everybody, and it's just and it was really wrong, and the people have not been compensated. I think, but he wants to do something. He wants to be a part of something.
He wants. I think he does want to get involved. Something.
Oh,
we had a reunion
area.
last weekend, and he followed me there, and he drives 95.
Yep.
And anyway, but he'd be a really good one to get involved. You know
he's
what I'm
a
saying?
philanthropist,
Yeah.
And we've got some ideas. I think you're going to share some with Rick Hall and Wayne Blair.
Mm-hmm.
When do they go on Tuesday?
Tuesday 9 to 10. We're going to be talking ghost stories.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Good. Okay.
Since it's Halloween coming up, that's why they asked me there. So I had to get those stack of papers because I got some, but I ain't got a whole show's worth. So
yes.
So anyway, but one of the things I did see all the time, he's talking about that. Two different things. There's a boot jack. People all through the years have seen it different locations. They'll come in the room and it's blocked off, gated off.
Yeah.
And the other day I swore that after I saw that, I said, that thing is not at the same place. I'm going to make a picture and see if it's moving.
Yeah.
And but like I said, man, it's
all right. We're about out of time. I just want to thank Jeremy for coming in, and
yes, sir.
And Connor, thank you, and Roger, and for coming in, and Ricardo's back here. Happy birthday, Ricardo, and Alan Searcy, appreciate you,
yes, sir.
And we'll talk at y'all next week.